Manx Radio Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety. For the latest What's On information, visit villagaiety.com.
As per usual, big shout out to Nicola and Oliver listening in. Very much looking forward to hearing Christine Collister singing live in the studio. But before she sings, we do need to have a chat with her. Exciting times, Christine Collister.
Indeed.
You are not just a musician, songwriter, performer, all-round lovely person and mermaid. You are now a published author.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know how that happened, really, but yeah.
And artist. I missed off artist as well. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I suppose I snuck that one in, didn't I?
You've been doing rather a lot over the past year.
Yeah, well, it would seem I've been doing rather a lot. I've been doing stuff in between other things. Yes, yeah, and I'm really pleased. Yeah.
So we're talking about your new release. Is probably the best way to describe it.
Yes, let's call it a release, shall we?
Children of the Sea.
Indeed.
So, where did all this begin?
During all the shenanigans of 2020, 2021, my husband and I were in Australia when it all started, came back to the island just before they closed the doors. And we were living with my mum, who has dementia. And so we basically lived with my mum, looking after her ostensibly, for about 3.5 years until October last year. So there was no way we could do other things, really. And we were happy to do that, to take care of her. That she didn't know. She doesn't need taking care of. But it meant that I couldn't do what I normally do. So a friend suggested I apply for some funding from the Arts Council and from Culture Vannin. And I had this idea in 2016 when you and I and numerous of our other creative female friends wanted to put a package together. Was it Our Island, Our Culture?
It was for that, yeah, I think it was.
And we called ourselves Women of Man.
Yeah, that's right.
And 2 songs came out of it for me, and that was Goddess of Man, which I co-wrote with Lindsay Rowe, gorgeous Lindsay. And I also wrote No One Knows His Name, and both songs were recorded with Daphne's Flight. And so that was kind of the beginning of this idea that I could write songs inspired by Manx folklore. So I thought, well, I'll give that a go. And I thought, well, the Arts Council are going to like that idea, aren't they? It's about the Isle of Man. So, and lo and behold, they said yes.
Yay! Quite right, too.
So then I had to do it. And so, and again, because of my life and life in general, I ended up doing it, the music anyway, all myself on the computer with what we call logic loops, which are basically phrases of music performed by actual musicians that you can then pick up and put into a program and create soundscapes. And I kind of had fun doing that in between, sitting with Mum.
I love that idea because I'm already picturing tiny musicians in your computer, and you just go,
they're there.
"I'll have you, please, Derek.
Yes.
Can you come and put some bass on this one?"
It's amazing. I mean, technology is fantastic. They do. It absolutely does not replace musicians. That is a rather beautiful and magical process when you have the facility and the time and the money to work with real musicians. Of course, that's brilliant. But when you don't, then this is a pretty good alternative, and certainly worked for me. I think an actual musician who has skills on keyboards and many, like a multi-instrumentalist, rather than do what I do, which was listen a lot until I found something I liked, they would, it's quicker for them to do it themselves. But I actually dove in and had an amazing time listening to all these very strange and wonderful instruments.
Well, I suppose, but essentially, the musical world was your lobster, oyster, whatever other sea reference we can make it.
Yes, let's do it.
Because what it did was it opened up every possibility to you, really. So
Yes.
it must have been quite an experience for you thinking,
it was amazing.
I've got all these things to play with.
No, it was great. And I have done it before. Like 10 years ago, I started using Logic, and I've put out a couple of CDs of demos of songs that never quite made it to the studio. A lot of them using Logic loops. But there's something happened between then and now, and there's a qualitative difference. And I don't know what that difference is, but there's something quite special about the way these songs came together.
Well, we're going to hear one of them now, and then we'll chat about it, and then we'll hear some more.
Okay.
So we're going to start with, I absolutely love this, Clever Little Jenny Wren, which not only has all of this fabulous production and loop sounds and everything, it's got birds on it.
And everything.
And
those birds were the Dawn Chorus in Glenwillan.
I love this. We'll listen to it first, and then we're going to chat more with Christine Collister.
The guillemot, the manx shearwater, the black-backed gull, the long-legged heron, the robin and the crow, the curlew, the starling, the sparrow and the thrush, whose sweet soul singing had them spellbound to a hush. The goldfinch and the cuckoo, the raven and the chough, the skylark, the puff and the linnet and the dove. When each of them had spoken from sea and field and glen, before the vote was open, up jumped little Jenny Wren. The other birds in chorus cried, you couldn't be the one. Be quiet and let us decide, but Jenny wasn't done. Oh no. Small I may be and slender is my leg, but no one else can bring 12 chicks out of the egg. No one but me. Jenny is a clever bird. Perhaps the crown is hers. Before it was decided, the eagle said, absurd. Which of us flies highest is the better way to choose. They all agreed that he was right. The crown was his to lose. The cormorant gave whistle, and so the race began. Eagle flew into the air, he didn't need a plan. His wings were strong and agile, he knew that he would win. And looking down below him, he couldn't help but grin. The bat, the stone chat, the owl and the cuckoo, the sleep had fallen on the man, they didn't have a clue. They had no idea. The race was almost done, but who would be the king? Who could fly the highest, the champion on the wing? It's all about the king. The eagle fairly gloated, he knew he'd won the fight. He circled once, then started down, but then he had a fright. The clever little Jenny Wren had hidden on his back, and she jumped off when he flew down. She was the highest bird. There was no doubt about that. She flew right above Eagle. It's true. There was no strength left in him, Eagle had to then concede. You are by far the cleverest bird, and everyone agreed. They all agreed. They sang with pride and said she was the best they'd ever seen. A little Jenny Wren for them would always be the queen. She was the queen.
Clever little Jenny Wren. clever Christine Collister, who put all that together with all of her loops and beats and singing and
Stuff.
obviously, and it's inspired from a Manx folk tale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called The King of the Birds.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was Brisha Madrell at Culture Vannon who inspired me to look at that particular story. And it was the first song I wrote on in the whole there's 9 songs altogether, so it was the first one I wrote, and it kind of wrote itself because it's a very specific story, and there's loads of different tellings of it, and so I was able to kind of weave all of the different tellings into a kind of a more lyrical piece. And I really enjoy it.
Well, you can hear your enjoyment listening to it, because there's even the little laughs, in it, which I just think is so joyous to listen to.
And I kind of talk in parts, and I didn't mean to do that.
I fell over and started talking. It was an accident.
I didn't mean to do it. So the whole thing is there's a bit of magic to it, and I loved finding those flutes and piccolos and what that sound a bit like birds. It really made me smile. And I have to say here also that Dave Armstrong, who mixed the album for me, he also played bass on that. So I didn't do it entirely on my own.
A real live musician playing bass, yeah.
And he added a few drum parts that I couldn't figure out how to do, but I wanted to do so.
It's handy having friends that can do things like that.
Yes,
and then also your friends have come on board as well to help with the other side of this project, which is the artwork.
Yeah,
so tell us about that.
So I finished the songs, and then I thought, do you know what? We could really do with some explanation as to why these songs exist, and a CD booklet wasn't going to cut it. And so I came up with the idea of, and loads of people have done it, of writing out the inspirations, stories, lyrics, and then I also thought that if there was some way I could get some illustrations, then I think the whole package would be a delightful thing. And so it was another year in the process of sorting that out. We've got I was able to commission, again with the help of the Arts Council, I was able to commission Nicola Dixon. She's done 3 of the pieces, and they're just delightful. I'm so thrilled. And I've also got Amanda Barton. I love her. I love everybody's work. It's wonderful. And my gorgeous friend Claire, whom I've known since we were 11, she retired a couple of years ago, started painting again. And she's in a group called the Artful Dodgers, which is run by Anna
for an
Klukas.
artistic group.
And they listen, just at her suggestion, they listen to the music and were inspired to do a whole load of artwork. So 4 pieces, 2 of Claire's and 2 of Shin Christian's are in. But there's all the work that was inspired is going to be on show on the 27th of April, which is the launch gig at Peel Centenary Centre.
So you might have seen the banners around the island. It's a fabulous one in Peel, across on the corner there.
Yeah.
So there is a gig, Centenary Centre. So I should ask, how are you going to do this at a gig then? Because obviously you've already mentioned there's going to be the artwork on show.
Yeah.
A little birdie perhaps around has told me that you're also putting video together.
Well, I've got to try it, and it will be it's the prototype, I have to say, at Centenary Centre, and I've managed to procure a projector, but I'm not sure it's really up to scratch for the size of the Centenary Centre, because it's a much bigger venue than I normally play. Not much bigger, but it's big. It's
big stage.
Yeah, it's a big stage. And we did a technical run through on Monday last week, and it was great. Sounds great. I'm singing to the tracks that I've created.
So you're firing them off on your laptop?
I am, and then I've got video including the artwork for each song. So I'm hoping that it will look good enough. Let's put it that way, and not pants, because I'd really rather it wasn't pants. But I'm doing my best to get it as sharp and bright as I possibly can.
This is so exciting. Pardon the pun, but it is a whole new chapter, really, in your story, isn't it? Because this is entirely different.
Yes, it is. It's not bad for a grandmother, really. So I also have I had some beautiful angels gift me a fantastic PA system, which I'm going to use at the Centenary Hall, but also for the tour in November.
Yeah, because you're going back to the UK, do some touring in the UK. Must be lovely to get back out again.
Can't tell you, I've waited far too long. So yeah, I'm really thrilled about all of that. But the PA is fantastic, and it puts the control in at my fingertips, but I can also work with. So I'll be using the Centenary Centre's PA with a front of house engineer, but I'll also have my PA there as well. And it's fairly tentative, but I'm excited. Like, I'm properly excited about the whole thing. So,
well, we all are. And we're going to hear another song now from the album. We're going to hear Fenella Beach from Children of the Sea by Christine Collister. After this, we're going to find out about the song itself. And also, Christine is going to share her firsts with us, so don't go anywhere.
There is no light like the first kiss of morning on the sea. There is no higher delight than the waves that set me free, as the birds dive straighter than love, circling the cove now, far, far above, like my heart when it pounds with the rhythm of the waves. In the cold crystal water, I'm born over again. There are no words heard by my shell-like ear. When my heart starts listening, then everything is clear, as the birds dive straighter than love, circling the cove now, far, far above, like my heart when it pounds with the rhythm of the waves. In the salt spray I'm born over again. Hear me now, sweet water. Listen well when I say I love every drop, every ripple and wave, every white horse that gallops, taking my breath away. How will I survive in the thrill of the moment? I feel so alive. Surrounded by magic, the castle and cave, by Fenella's great beauty, in her waters I'm saved, as the birds dive straighter than love, circling the cove now, far, far above, like my heart when it pounds with the rhythm of the waves. In the salt spray I'm born over again. Over again. Every dip in the water, every dip in the water, every swim in the sea. I love to swim in the sea. Every dip in the water, every dip in the water, baby, is precious to me, is precious.
She really does love to swim in the sea, Christine Collister. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But she has got a guitar with her, so I can't let her go without playing. We're going to chat more with her shortly, but I thought, you know what? Let's hear something live. What are we going to hear, Christine?
Who knows where the time goes? Because who knows where the time goes.
This is a gorgeous song. Was it Sandy Denny that did it?
Yeah, beautiful Sandy Denny, yeah.
But this is our very own Christine Collister singing live in the studio. Take it away, Christine.
Across the evening sky, all the birds are leaving. How can they know it's time for them to go? Before the winter fire, I will still be dreaming. I have no thought of time, and who knows where the time goes? Who knows where the time goes? Sad deserted shore, your fickle friends are leaving. Oh, but then they know it's time for them to go. I will still be here, I have no thought of leaving. I do not count the time, and who knows where the time goes? Who knows where the time goes? I am not alone when my love is near me. I know it will be so until it's time to go. So come the storms of winter and the birds in spring again. I have no fear of time, and who knows where the time goes? Who knows where the time goes? And who knows where the time time goes.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, But you have no idea, listeners, how far away from the microphone Christine Collister had to move so that she wasn't completely exploding everything in the studio. That was so beautiful, Christine. Thank you so much. We're going to chat more in a minute, but just remind everyone again where they can see you here on the Isle of Man at the end of the month. What day and where?
Peel's St Henry Centre, Saturday, April the 27th. Doors are, I think, at 7:30, or maybe it starts at 7:30. Anyway, it's around then.
Get your tickets now. We're going to hear Christine's firsts in just a few moments. That was Joe, spelled D-J-O, and end of beginning. And before that, Christine Collister was playing live in the studio and singing. And oh my goodness, Christine, honestly, your voice just gets better and better. Do you still do lessons and things to keep it all?
No, I haven't had lessons for a while. I had lessons between the age of 30 and 45 with a fabulous guy called Oleg Lapper, who I'm sure is still teaching. He was an amazing guy. But no, I haven't for a long time. But I still use my voice. Not as much as my husband. Bob sings all the time.
Does he?
He wakes up singing.
Oh, yeah. That's so good. Well, he features on some of your songs on your albums.
Done, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. We mentioned the Isle of Man gig at the end of the month, which is great, Centenary Centre, but we do have people listening further afield. And you're going to the UK, so rough idea where you might be going?
Well, it starts the middle of November. I'm hoping to do another gig on Ireland before that starts, but I've yet to organise that. That'll be around about the 10th of November. So I've got Wavendon, Cambridge, Bury, Weatherall, which is Carlisle, Brethferton, Penzance, Honiton, Osmington, Corsham, Tamworth, Birmingham, Sheffield, York, Kirkby Stephen and Otley.
Oh, amazing! So it must be so lovely to get back out again.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled because it's what I love to do, and I haven't been able to do it, and for all sorts of reasons. So, it'll be a joy.
And obviously turning up with Children of the Sea, this book and art project and CD and all of that, which is a wonderful thing. And people are going to be able to get it at the gigs, I take it.
Yes, it's also available online at fledglingrecords.co.uk at the moment. Or you can go to my website, christinecollister.com, and find it there, find a link through to Fledgling Records. And it'll be available at gigs. It'll be available a special price at the Centenary Centre.
Fantastic, so do get down to that. Well, I can't let you go before we do your first.
Okay.
Because this is our new thing since you were last here in the studio. It's a way of sort of finding out about our wonderful guests with a musical background, in essence. So I need to ask you, what was the first album you remember buying and what format was it in?
I remember buying 10cc sheet music as an LP.
Yay! And then you saw them here on the island.
I did. I didn't know until many years later. I was 14 when they came here. That was their very first live gig because they were a studio band.
They played their first live gig on the island.
Eric Stewart looked at me twice. I'm just saying. It was a seminal moment in my pure little life.
I want to bring up as well another seminal moment in your little life. You shared an amazing photo on your Facebook.
I did, yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, the very first gig I did in London was as a guest with Richard Thompson, because Clive Gregson and I had just finished doing the backing vocals on his latest album then in 1984, which was Across a Crowded Room. And so he invited us to sing at the Mean Fiddler with him. He was out with he called it Richard Thompson's Little Big Band, because they had a horn section, I think. Anyway, so that was the very, very first time I played in London. So I was very, very scared. But not only that, but Sting was in the audience.
Did you get to meet him?
No, I didn't.
So Sting has heard you sing?
Sting's heard me sing.
That's kind of amazing,
That's
isn't
kind
it?
of amazing, yeah.
How exciting.
So, yeah, it was all very exciting.
So, but I'm presuming that's not the first performance you gave then. What would be the first performance you gave?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I was the Mock Turtle in Alice in Wonderland at Murray's Road School.
Did you have to sing?
Do you know what? I can't remember if I sang or not, but I remember my mum, bless her, making me making the turtle carapace out of a laundry basket.
Oh, that's amazing.
A laundry basket, foam rubber and papier-mâché, and then they threw seaweed on me for authenticity.
There must be photos of this somewhere.
No, there aren't. No, definitely not.
There definitely are. I can tell by the way you say
that. No, if they were, I'd love one.
Oh.
No, it was at a time before people did photographs.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Well, we can visualise it from what you've said. Yeah. But what about then the first time you sort of gigged music then? What was your first proper gig?
Well, I sang at school in the Sunrise group. When we were 10. We all got guitars for Christmas, and so Mr. Midgley, whom I loved, put us together. And there were there 10 of us in the band? I don't know. We all looked a right ragtag bunch of girls, mostly. I think it was all girls. Anyway, we all red skirts and white tops.
Oh, fantastic!
We played the Villa, you know.
I mean, that's big time.
I know.
That is big time. And there are some lovely photos of that.
There
in
are
your
somewhere,
Christine
yes.
Collister XX20 DVD,
yes,
isn't there?
Yeah,
which I presume you can still get hold of
yes,
as well, which is fabulous. Yeah. And was the 10cc gig, was that kind of the first gig you remember going to? It was a big gig, or what was
that
the
wasn't
first
the first
one?
gig. I was 14. The first gig we went to with my lovely mate Claire, we went, and Jeanette Dentith, I think. We went to the Lido to see Status Quo.
That's so cool.
When we were 11. And we had because was Jeanette in the band? I think she was. So we had our long red skirts and white tops on and an anorak. and everybody was looking at us going, what are they letting them in for? But you could go upstairs where they didn't sell alcohol.
Oh, I love that. So you could still experience the music.
And my mum said, you can go, but you've got to be back by 11 o'clock. Well, they only went on at 11.
Oh,
so
no.
I had to phone up home and go, but they're only going on it. And anyway, bless her, she let me.
And did that kind of inform your sort of like desire to then become a musician?
No, I'd already got that. I was 6 when I knew what to sing. But it was very exciting. Caroline was number 1 at the time.
Oh, you see the stuff they used to do over here. I don't know. Well, you can see Christine Collister, who I'm chatting to, at the Centenary Centre. The last Saturday of the month, get yourselves down to the Centenary Centre for this experience. This is not just a gig.
Come on down and help me.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Support me. I need your love.
And go to christinecollister.com to get your hands on Children of the Sea, the release. It is a book, it's artwork, it's music, it's everything. As ever, Christine, it's a delight. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, darling. I always love coming in to see you.
Manx Radio Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety. For the latest What's On information, visit villagaiety.com.